So call the meeting to order at 5:16 p.m. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. The Town of Lunenburg response to the coronavirus is currently following guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, Mass Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent the spread. All town facilities are open by appointment only in accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. All public meetings are being conducted remotely. Before we get going, is there any public comment from the committee? Any public comment from the public? Don't see any. Again, not to catch up on these minutes, but we'll jump right into the prioritization of the FY22 capital plan projects. The other day, I sent out a little worksheet that I used to filter down our options here. I don't know if everybody got that or not. But
yep,
back and forth to that. One thing to note on there is on the last page, I made a little mistake. The third item under DPW vehicles should be DPW 21-02. That is a 3/4 ton truck. The values are all the same, but it's a truck, not a culvert.
So hold on. So the description, it's not a culvert, you're saying?
Right. It was a 3/4 ton truck to be used for the personal vehicle of the DPW director. Other things to note, under the police, they are priority number one. The body cameras were getting funded by a grant, so we don't need to rank them tonight. And I believe Heather was saying the unranked project for DPW facilities, the engineering and ADA improvements to our cemetery, is also going to be done through a grant. So we don't need to rank those two. Did everybody go through and rank these yourselves beforehand, or usually we just end up talking through at the meeting? But if you already have some thoughts?
Yes.
I did not rank them, no.
Okay.
I did a quick run through, but I haven't organized them in any kind of ranking at this point, except for the few that definitely should be near the top and get done in 2022.
That's what I did, as well as even I had a top one for each department.
Great. Yeah, usually, I mean, usually a little bit less prepared than that. Even we all just kind of talk through it as a group. So, if anyone wants to throw out just what their thought is for a priority number one or top tier, whoever wants to start.
If I may, Mr. Chair, just ask a question. Can somebody just review? I'll say review, but I don't know that we've ever gone over as a group, or maybe we did and I don't recall, being new to this committee. The Collins score, first of all, is a higher number more urgent and a lower number less urgent, number one? And what are the criteria of the Collins score?
So the Collins Center score, the Collins Center is a group, I believe through UMass, right, Heather? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Collins Center is, they help put together things for communities like this. So in the larger, big Excel spreadsheet that we got, there's all those categories in the yellow and the green and the blue and the red that all have different weighted point values as to why these certain projects would be advantageous or important for us. So a higher score is better, yes. And you want to refer to why it got a higher score, you can look back to that original big spreadsheet that says, yes, no, what increased government efficiency, reduces liability, expands customer service, all those different categories. They're all weighted differently, but things that are like government mandated carry significant points there. So that's why some of the infrastructure projects have such a high score.
Yep.
So we have not ever committed to, using the Collins score as a firm indicator of what something should be. It's there to inform us and help make decision making. It's not a be all end all to how these get ranked.
Although in some cases, from my perspective, it is accurate. In others, priority wise, adding in a few other factors, it's not. But it hits the nail a number of times in the numbers I see right now.
Yes, last year was kind of our pilot into it, and we didn't even really look at the Collins score side by side until after we ranked it ourselves, and it actually lined up, comparing it after the fact, lined up pretty closely.
I appreciate that explanation. Thank you.
Hi, Paula. We were just getting into this. Did you get the Excel worksheet that I had sent over?
I did, yes. Yes, sorry I was late. I'm having a little computer issues, but I think I'm there.
So yeah, we're just going to talk through how we want to rank these, and if anyone wanted to start off with something they thought should be high on the list, feel free to, anyone wants to chime in, jump in, and
Okay.
I'll chime in. Oh,
go ahead,
Nope.
Wendy.
Turnout gear.
Yep, it's actually, I had that as my number one too.
Yeah, that to me was, yeah.
Anybody else feelings on turnout gear?
The only question I have for town manager is that the item that there is funding if we can get it out of the bond to pay for that, or all the numbers and projects are running together in my head the last few weeks. So it seems to me there was a $100,000 set aside in a bond issue. And I understand that bonds aren't guaranteed money unless the governor decides it's worth funding.
To release the bond money. That is correct.
That's the only reason I would not put it as top number one. I had it in my top tier, but not number one, because there is that possibility if we advocate strong enough, or we can get our legislators to advocate strong enough for it, and the state budget doesn't go totally haywire. That money is already allocated if we can get it freed up. And that's, Heather, I believe bonds span, is it 3 or 5 years?
I think it
That
is
they,
5. I have to go.
and I'm not saying we wait 5 years for the gear. It's just that there is a funding source out there that has been set aside for it if we can pry it loose.
Personally, I think that the chance of the governor releasing any bond funds after this pandemic is over is between 0.1 and 0%.
Yeah,
I'm a
But
little
I
more
think
confident that it'll be there.
But by the way, this is from May, so, a lot can change there. I think I have no problem with it. I don't know if I'd rate it the highest, but I would certainly put it in something we want to make sure it goes on the May town meeting. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Definitely.
would agree. I would agree.
Okay, so we'll keep that floating around up high in the list. Is there anything else we wanted to get high up there?
I'd keep the Flat Hill culvert in the top 5 or 5 to 6 projects. That's one we've discussed for a couple of years now. We got the engineering done. And there was no question about funding the engineering because that's an imminent failure.
Yeah.
I did have a question on the North Cemetery situation because nothing was ranked by the department, and I'm just wondering what, and I wish I had asked it during the meeting, what the priority is from the department head's perspective.
Yeah, we just mentioned that too right before you jumped on. That it appears
Okay.
that you get that funding through a grant for that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. What else is off?
The police body cameras were a grant also.
Okay.
I also had the bulletproof vests. They're pretty high on my list.
Mine too.
But do they not, I mean, do they not have them? And how old are the ones they have already?
I believe they do have them, but they do have a shelf life. That you
Yeah, I
don't-
know that too. But just- Are these extra?
A
And- because
5-year
then they-
replacement plan.
Excuse me?
They're on 5-year replacement plan for their body.
And is this the 5th year or the 6th year? I'm sorry, or
It's
whatever.
just They cycle through, yep, so this would be the next investment.
Okay, so aren't all their items from 2 to 5 on the police? They're all replacement and they're all on a cycle, no?
Yes, I mean, technically you could, make them drive a car longer than they want to. It's not a great idea, but
Yeah, no, I think it's a poor idea, no more than I want them to wear bulletproof vests more than the lifespan of the vest, so.
yes. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking back
I
at the police chief's narrative, it just said they're on the 5-year replacement plan. And it doesn't say specifically where they, how close we are to failure on that.
Right, but I mean, if you look at the life, it's 6 to 9 years, so I'm assuming that we're at the end of that life cycle, or they wouldn't have requested them. And that's my thought process.
Right.
Now,
The
they
other
have-
thing being that I think we need to support as many vehicle replacements as possible. The police vehicles, that's a program that we've been involved in for a number of years on a rotating basis. It's now up to a third vehicle in the rotation because of the increase in police officers over the past 2 or 3 years requiring an extra vehicle. It used to be 2 that were in the rotation, if I remember correctly. And also DPW vehicles have been pushed off of I believe a couple of years of capital expenditures to support fire department with their large dollar amount vehicles. So my general feeling is that we need to get those in there this year because we've got big items coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think we only have to replace the dump truck. To me, that's a real need in the DPW. So I would
But
agree with
their highest priority, their priority 1, Paula, is that the one you're talking about?
the 6-wheel dump truck plow and sand replaces 2005 International. Yeah,
Yeah, we put that off a couple of years in a row now.
Yeah, I would put that in a tier 1.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to get top 5 and then try to round out top 10 if we think we can do that, or at least, try to get top 10. But if we can, put high tier and low tier, would be. I personally had all the police vehicles, sprinkled within my top 10.
Police vehicles?
Yes, the 3 cruisers and the bulletproof vests, but.
Now, what do you guys, I mean, if you look at their department priority, their number 1 was the video cameras.
Yes, that one was funded
Well,
by.
we got the grant
Oh, we
funding.
got the grant. I keep forgetting about the grant. Okay, I'm taking that off.
Yeah, so.
So
Yeah.
do you have all of them in your top, all 3 of them, or?
Well, I'll just read my top 10 since I got it right here. Just, you can agree or disagree or whatever, it doesn't matter. But I had fire department turnout gears 1, bulletproof vest is 2, 1 police car is number 3. Then I went to number 4 for the Flat Hill culvert. Number 5 for the public safety chiller because that sounded like it was in imminent failure.
Talk to me about the chiller again. What is remind me of what the chiller is?
That's the air conditioning for the building, essentially.
Oh, for the whole building. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the main unit that feeds the cold, whatever it is, water, whatever, to the individual units that actually
Right, okay,
cool the
okay.
spaces. I
And
had
did
a
we-
question on that. I did have a question on that, and maybe Heather could answer it. And that is whether or not that would be something that green communities could get funding for. Does it increase efficiency sufficiently so it could be a green communities project?
Do not believe that was brought up because there was a full assessment done on that building when we did the last grant, and I don't believe that was one of the projects that came out of that assessment.
Okay, thank you.
And did we find out if that chiller, this new unit, is sized for the space that they eventually want to develop?
I do not have the answer to that.
Because I think that's important. We want to make sure it's sized appropriately. If we are gonna, we may not do it now, but eventually they want to finish that upstairs space. Okay, Damon, I think you were up to 5.
Yep, 5. My number 6 was, I didn't know that the cemetery was getting the grant. I had that at number 6, but kicked that off. Then I went to the AC for the classroom at the primary school, the Turkey Hill envelope repairs, and then the 2 other police vehicles round out my top 10.
So I think that, I think the plow truck is a higher priority for me than the police vehicles at this point.
Yeah, I had that at 12, so I was close.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we keep pushing that off. I do think the, I think we've got to talk about, now the building, the envelope, the exterior for Turkey Hill, to me, are pretty high on the list, because those are, you know, the windows, and from a cost perspective, we're losing money because the building isn't sealed properly. So to me, that's important.
I would agree. I would not put the AC for the classrooms at
I
my-
wouldn't either.
in the top
No.
10. personally.
No, I wouldn't either.
I had that as number 7 on mine, the Turkey Hill exterior.
Yeah, I think that's that would be in my top 10, definitely.
Would be in my top 10 as well.
No disagreement here.
Right. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that we think belongs in the top 10?
Well, only because it's been delayed and delayed, and we've talked about it forever and ever and ever, and it really affects the use of the building. I think the ADA ramp construction at the Ritter is, you know,
That is-
again,
I
it just hampers what our ability to do with that building is. So I don't know if it qualifies the top 10, but it's certainly, to me, a high priority.
I just would add as well, in under facilities for the public safety, the records room construction. So that is a component of what they're applying for accreditation for. And so that needs to be a finished, secured space, which it is locked space right now, but that's part of what they're going for accreditation for.
Who's they, by the way?
The police department, so the chief would be applying.
What kind of accreditation?
Yeah,
Do we not have an accredited police department?
No, not every police department does, no. No, it's a very long and comprehensive process. It's one Chief Marino had started and worked on for many years, but it takes that much time. So it's a number of areas, but including policies and procedures, your building, your operations, all of that. And it's a process. But
And I don't
that's-
mean to put you on the spot, but what is the upside of being accredited? What did we get for being accredited?
I don't know if it makes you eligible for anything like grants or anything like that through different organizations. That I would have to ask the chief.
Because I think it's commendable to have an accreditation, but I mean, there's also if we're gonna put money into it, it'd be nice to know that there's some benefit other than saying you have the accreditation.
Yeah, I just wanted that as a point of information, so you had that.
I'm looking back at the major spreadsheet too, and I think the chief should have advocated to the DPW director a little harder, because I feel like he should have had more boxes checked. Because he only got 30 points in the Collins Center score there, but I think if they took another look at that, a lot more boxes would get checked. Especially if that was either a mandate or had something to do with accreditation.
Yeah. The other one
But
I would
there's still,
raise-
still that question about what do we get for the accreditation? Is it just
Right.
a gold seal on the door, or, you know,
Right.
does it have value to it?
And
Excuse me.
the other two projects are under DPW facilities that score high on the Collins score because they're infrastructure. And again, we could either go to the Ritter repairs, which is Vertex year one, which would go hand in hand with the Ritter building, and maybe we can take care of the Ritter building. So that's one strategy. Or again, you know, all the stuff that needs to be done with town hall. Every year, tick tock, that we don't do anything with town hall. It does not make the condition any better.
All right, so in no particular order, I'll list off what I have as top tier material right now. The turnout gear, the bulletproof vests, the 3 police cars.
No, I don't have that in my top 10.
So
I
at
don't-
least, how many of them? At least 1 or 2?
I would say 1 right now myself. That's just me.
Okay.
No, I had one as well, Paula.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. The envelope repairs for the middle school. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turkey Hill, yeah.
The Slide Hill culvert,
Flip,
What's
yeah.
that?
Nope, go ahead.
the 6-wheel dump, the
ADA
public,
ramp.
the ADA ramp, the public safety chiller. That's 8. Anything else you want to? That we think about the top 10?
So for the score versus the price, I'd say town hall repairs.
Now, what are those repairs? It just says the Vertex items, but does anyone know specifically what those are?
I can read them off. That includes cutting out and placing the sealants between the siding and the wall penetrations, the windows and the doors, replacing the windows at the basement level, and removing existing roof and replacing the roof, and chimney repairs.
49,000?
That's what was identified in the Vertex. That's
Wow, I couldn't even imagine you
Is-
doing the roof for 49,000.
I
I was
just
gonna
gonna
say,
say,
is there a
right.
number attached to that roof? Because that doesn't look like it could possibly include a roof.
the roof was 27,000 when this report was done, which was in 2008.
Did he put an escalator on these?
Did you say 2008?
No, 18.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like,
know, it hasn't been that long.
Doesn't, yeah, we would have to add the escalator into that. So that number, I think is, I agree that it's low.
You would have to assume that that's just a roof over also, if they're gonna strip it. That wouldn't include whatever they find for issues underneath it. But I agree, the infrastructure stuff we've been talking about for 2 years, and it's good to see the projects on here. Although I am concerned that a few of the small dollar ones really should be in facilities, not in capital.
We want to put does the Page Street design go on there too, you guys think?
So I had a question on the Page Street design, because I'm seeing it twice unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I corrected. At the number 3 on DPW vehicles, that's a 3/4 ton truck for the DPW director. Yeah.
All right.
Same dollar amount's correct on the sheet.
Okay, I'm sorry, say that again?
The dollar amount on the sheet is correct, but it's a
Okay.
3/4 ton truck for the
Okay.
DPW.
Okay, all right. And Heather, can you just talk about the Page Street culvert a little bit?
That's the one, the DPW director said is probably an imminent failure.
Okay,
If they needed to address something right this year, that would have to put steel plates over the road.
okay. So yeah, I would agree that that should be higher.
Yeah, and just for reference, he has $100,000 in next year's capital to do the actual work. This would just be.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess to repeat myself, turnout gear, bulletproof vests, 1 police car, middle school envelope repairs, or elementary school, Turkey Hill, Flat Hill culvert, Page Street culvert design, 6-wheel dump, public safety chiller, Ritter ramp, town hall repairs. No particular order, but top 10.
I would probably put one other police vehicle, but that's me. I could
Okay.
see not going with all 3, but I can't see with going one of 3. Of course, I'd love to know the mileage on all the ones that we're replacing, since that would be a telltale sign.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no telling where we're going to draw the line. So top 10 doesn't necessarily mean anything other than it's.
Well, that's $1 million right now.
Yeah.
That's because, I mean, that's half of it is, at least 45% of it is the Flat Hill culvert construction, so.
Right.
Heather, is there any chance we'd get any kind of grant funding for that?
We will try to get grant funding for that.
Are there multiple options, or is it basically the small bridge program or
There's
something similar?
There's another program, a culvert program that we were going to look into as well, that would have funding. But for the Pleasant Street Bridge, it took us 3 years of continually trying to get that funding.
Did you talk to Brad Harris from MRPC?
We talked to everybody, we
No,
spent.
I mentioned last time the small bridge program.
Yes, for that particular one. Yes, actually, Rob went to the last meeting and that project wouldn't be eligible.
Do you know why?
I believe he sent me the reason why.
Okay. And that was this project, or that was a different project?
That was this project.
Okay.
And I would, as they are about to get sworn in, I would make sure that both Representative Sina and Senator Cronin get alerted to this. This is a big ticket number. So as 2 new members of the legislature, it would be nice to impress upon them the importance of this to us.
I agree.
So we're at 1.2 million. If we add the police cruiser, as our item 11, I don't have a problem with that, but we don't have any idea of our target number right now.
I asked the committee to do a prioritization.
Prioritize, yeah. So do you want us to prioritize everything?
I would go ahead and give the full list.
Okay.
Because there could be unappropriated funds from previous capital projects that we could apply towards the capital plan in May as well.
Just in looking at past history, 1.2 is a pretty solid capital budget. That's more than we traditionally, in recent years, we've been lucky, but that's certain that's gonna happen again.
So do we leave those as our top 10? Or do we prioritize our top 10, or do we do, number 1 priority, number 2, number 3, and have 3 categories?
We should go through and just, again, it's a recommendation to Heather, but I think in the past, we've always, done a list 1 through whatever.
Okay,
So sounded like nobody had a problem with turnout gear being, can we call that a number 1?
it's good with me.
I have no problem with that. Same with the bulletproof vests for me.
That would be number 2.
Yes.
Now we're going 1 through 10. Is
Yeah.
that what you want to do, Damon?
Yeah, if the ones I just read off were an appropriate, one group, we'll try to put those in order now.
Okay,
So yeah, bulletproof vests, we're good with that. It's 2.
yeah.
What was one? I'm sorry.
Number 1 is the
Turnout gear.
turnout gear for the fire department. Anyone want to go for number 3?
Number 3 for me would be the dump truck, but that's,
I would agree.
Okay, dump truck number 3.
To me, 4 would be the chiller.
I don't have a problem with that.
me either.
Uh,
Number 5 to me would be the Flat Hill culvert, I think, just
Yep.
because it's such a disaster.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. Number 6.
I had a police vehicle there, but
That's what I would go with the police vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd agree with that.
How about the Turkey Hill envelope for number 7?
Turkey Hill is what I had next. That was my 7.
Okay.
How about Ritter ADA ramp as number 8?
That was my 8.
Sure. Between Town Hall and Page Street design.
Yeah, the only reason I hesitate is I think we all had concerns about this pricing. So if we didn't know the pricing, I'd say the town hall repairs, but I think those last 2 may shuffle because of what we have allocated. So as far as the importance, I think town hall repairs is a higher priority to me than the Page Street design, but they're both important. So
Yeah, I would agree.
Me too.
We gotta check the numbers, yeah.
So do we want
I
to-
personally would like to get the envelope protection in as soon into the list, not necessarily the top 10, but, maybe the top 15 or so. Most of them are small projects and, they'll preserve the buildings and hopefully stop future damage.
Yeah, I mean, as far as an escalator, I mean, we're not talking about doubling the number, right, Heather? We'll probably,
I wouldn't think so, but prevailing wage adds 30% to a project. So,
Heather, how much do you think the facilities budget could absorb of the smaller projects, like a $7,500 project? What are these other small ones that are in here? For some reason, I'm not seeing them right now.
Yeah,
15,000, 15,000.
it could absorb some, but obviously there's multiple. So we
Right.
couldn't.
right, so if you want, do we want to say town hall repairs up to a certain number and put that as a rank? Certain dollar value? Because we can't let that thing balloon to like $150,000 and still keep that same.
Now, we've got one more meeting before we have to absolutely finalize this, correct?
Yeah, Yeah, we
So,
can do that.
Why don't we just put it where it is right now? And if the number changes drastically, then we reassess.
Well,
You want to put
again, I
that-
find it hard to believe it's not gonna change. I mean, I think it's at least gonna go to 65.
Mhm.
Again, just the roof alone on that building, just the size, it's just gonna be crazy big. I mean, to roof your own house costs $10,000.
Yeah. Well, do we think we can get Rob to give us some better input before next meeting?
We'll take a hard look at that number and talk to the architect that we've been working with on different town building projects and see if he can give us, thinks it's a more refined number.
All right. We wanted a tentative number 9 on that and put the page sheet at 10.
Yes, I'm good with that.
Me too.
Okay. 10, top 10. There we go. Moving right along.
The Ritter repairs, Vertex year 1, not the ADA ramp. We numbered the ADA ramp, but what are the Ritter repairs, Vertex year 1?
David, do you mind if I address that?
What's that? Go ahead.
I addressed that, 'cause I talked to Damon about this right before the meeting, is I would actually exchange that project, the 150,000, with the year fiscal 23 project that Rob had in the plans. That was the envelope project for Ritter. It was 89,000. And so, because all of the 150,000, that is mostly interior work.
Okay, okay,
And so the envelope projects were brick and mortar repair for exterior, the scrape and paint steel lintels at the wall penetrations, cleaning the building facade, cutting out and replacing the sealants around the windows,
Mhm.
and doesn't
Yeah,
include.
that and he also had a gutter project on, not the
Yeah.
active file, but for next year. The envelope projects that Heather was just listing off was 86,000 and the gutters was 25,000.
Yeah, I think envelope ones, we don't have a strong record on good envelope projects.
no, we don't.
Right. So here's a good time for us to change that.
Okay, so if we add that with the gutters, what's that total?
Again, there might need to be a multiplier added to this, but 252. It's $111,252 if you go by his values.
Do you know the project number on that one?
Yeah, so that is, the gutters was FM 21-01. And the other Ritter repairs, Vertex items, envelope projects was FM 21-03.
Thank you.
So Heather, your suggestion is to kick out FM 1908A, Vertex year 1, and replace it with those.
Yes. Just flip them.
I would concur with that.
So would I.
Mm.
So to
And
me, that,
what did you say the total on that was, Damon? 111,000?
Yeah, 111,252.
All right.
so that would definitely be in my top 15.
Mhm.
Me too.
Okay.
Do we have a 10 identified? I only have 9 written down.
Page,
It's
the
the
page
page.
Street culvert.
Oh, yeah, yep, sorry. Thank you.
You know, the different colored pencil here to keep track of everything.
While you're thinking, Paula, I went through my emails. The response was that bridge, the span was less than 20 feet, therefore they didn't think it would qualify under the.
Okay. Okay.
I was thinking if we're
Can we make
talking,
it longer?
if we're talking top 15 now, I was going to put another police vehicle in there.
Yeah, I would too.
Sure.
So remaining, I guess, I'll just go with remaining projects outside of facilities. There's the utility tractor rotary motor for the DPW, 3/4 ton truck for the DPW. There's, we mentioned one police vehicle, but there's still another one. There's the AC for the classrooms at the primary school. And then we have all the facilities projects, the records room, replace carpet for public safety, Marshall Park master plan, senior center painting, senior center carpet, senior center parking lot, senior center vertex items, Brooks House, which I would kick off this list personally, but
Well, that's, yeah, I was gonna bring that up here. I mean, before we do anything at the Brooks House, it'd be nice to know what we're doing with the Brooks House.
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, I certainly agree with that. Of all the things we have going on, that would be at the bottom of my list of things to dump money into.
Yeah, me too. I do think Marshall Park, we've got to do something with Marshall Park. You know, it continues to fall into disrepair. It's one of our a majorly used recreation area. And I think that unless we put some money and design into it, we're not going to be able to improve it. I know it's something that the Parks Commission is pushing really hard to move forward with. And I know from an open space perspective, it's very high on the priority for open space.
I agree with all the
agree.
reasoning. I just think that, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Tom.
I just think that it's going to be bad timing for this year. I concur with everything you said.
Mhm.
And I think we have to start building the case to the public that we're going to be coming to them either with a capital project or some other kind of mechanism to fund it. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it really is in disarray and really, you know, shame on us as a town for letting it get to this point where you need to machete your way into the, you know, the old basketball courts. That's crazy. So yeah, I think we have to address it. I just don't think this year it's going to see that.
Where would you put it in the list of everything? Would you put it at the bottom of the list or sort of the middle of the list, or what are your thoughts on where?
Well, I
it
would think as the way we're ranking things, I think it would become near next. It would be in the, of all of the ones that we have listed, including
Yeah.
the ones we've already ranked, I think it would be like right dab in the middle.
Okay, yeah.
So it
So
would
do
be very
I.
close to coming up now to me.
Yeah.
As a member of Parks, you know, I agree, and I've kind of kept silent because I wanted to see how you guys felt about it. The key to this money is to get some consulting help and get the plan put together so that then we can go after grant monies, and Open Space has volunteered to help us with that part of the project. And there's a lot of people very excited to ready to jump in and help that have the knowledge on some of the expertise that we're going to need to pull this project off in the next couple of years.
If
I
that,
mean, without a
what you
plan,
just,
kinda- Oh, I was gonna say, without a plan, you just, you know, and knowing how much things are gonna cost and what direction you're going in, is all you're doing is just sitting around saying it'll be a great idea.
Exactly.
and that
just
was,
stays at
that was
that.
exactly going to be my point. I think if you as the Parks Commission, now with the 5-member board, develop that plan so there's something more concrete for people to rally behind, I think that would be a great use of this coming year.
Okay, so put that in our 10 to 15 range.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah, I'd say it's in the 15. I mean, we're already at 12 or something, right?
Yeah, I was gonna make another group before we rank them specifically, but unless you think we're going in the right order. But
If we could, I'd like to put Marshall at 12.
Well, we have the police vehicle at 12, I think. Yeah,
Yes, we do.
so Marshall Park would be 13.
Okay, do I
What
have
was
two
11?
11s?
I thought police vehicle was
11,
11.
11 was the second police
There's-
vehicle.
No,
No,
11
was the Ritter.
11
11 was the Ritter
repairs,
improvement.
the envelope
Okay, so I
project
missed
and the
something.
gutters.
Got it. Okay.
Yep, sorry about that. I jumped right over that. 11, 12.
so 12 is the cruiser, 13 is the park.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
so the vehicles for the DPW, the utility tractor and the other, what is the other vehicle, Damon, that you're looking for, the $48,000 one?
It's a 3/4 ton pickup truck. It's just a
Okay.
truck.
Okay,
Because the DPW director is currently driving a maintenance truck, and the maintenance
right,
guy
'cause he said he can't
doesn't have a
even
truck.
drive that, right?
And that ends up being a plow truck also.
Yeah, so that would be pretty high on my list as well.
Okay.
Now, do they have this rotary mower combo? Do they have a vehicle that's going to last, or do they not even have a vehicle? This is an addition.
Well, right now they use the trackless machine that is used for the sidewalks, and that has an attachment. Heather, is that still in working order, or is?
That's the new one. That did.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about the old one. Are they up the creek if we don't buy this year?
No, I think they have the attachment for the new one,
Okay.
but this is a more efficient way of
Right.
doing
So we have a brand new piece of equipment that we just bought
it. Mhm.
last year that can do this. It's just not purpose built for this job. So.
All right, so, well, that one I would move down then. But I think the 3/4 ton dump truck is, to me, would be right after Marshall Park, because he said he can't even drive it.
It's not a dump truck, it's
Right.
just a pickup truck.
The
Just a-
3/4, I'm sorry, the 3/4 ton pickup truck.
Yeah,
Sure, I can get behind that.
I agree.
Okay, so we're at 14. So at this point, the police have one car outstanding. The AC for the schools is outstanding. We just talked about the utility tractor.
So I would put the other police vehicle at 15.
Mm,
That would be the
I
third.
would agree. I was hoping
Yeah.
we'd get them into the top 15, so that works well for me.
All right.
The repair to roof at the senior center.
mm.
I kind of saw that as really a facilities, the maintenance and care of the building. I'm not so sure I identify with that as a capital project.
Yeah, it's just a small amount. It's $7,500.
I would agree with you, Dave, on that. I think that
Yeah.
that's not a capital plan. I think that should be put in somewhere.
Okay.
The parking lot,
Perfectly acceptable answer.
the senior center parking lot.
Do we have a plan for that parking lot, or is this
I was just
included
gonna
in the
ask
plan?
That would be for design too.
But where is it gonna go?
The thought would be to the right of the building.
Okay, where the skate park was gonna go, and now that's gonna be
No.
relocated,
No.
or?
The
Oh.
proposed skate park is on the right side of Kids Kingdom. This would be on the left side of Kids.
Between this building and the playground?
Yes.
There's not a lot of room there. I mean, it's a pretty small area.
Heather, do you know how many spaces they expect to be able to gain from that space?
Mm.
I walk by that 4 or 5 times a week, and I look at it every time. And yeah, it could be a parking lot, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of spaces.
I don't recall the number of spaces. There was just a sketched out design for it.
With the turning radius needed and the amount of square footage needed per parking lot, I mean, Adam should be able to tell per parking space, Adam should be able to tell us based on the area, how much we would need. But just being at the playground a lot with the grandkids, I just don't see it as an enormous amount of parking. I agree we need more parking over there. I'm just not sure that's going to give us what we need.
Parking's always been an issue at that building, as far as people parking in the street and just
Yeah.
not the safest area.
But let me ask you, the other item they have on the capital plan is the carpet replacement. And I know from an insurance perspective, and especially when you're dealing with elderly people, if rip carpeting can be an enormous problem. Are we looking at rips in the carpet over there that need to be repaired, that are a tripping hazard, or is it simply an aesthetic thing, or?
I think it was just end of life cycle. I haven't heard any issues as far as tripping hazards.
Okay.
Well, I think the new parking lot runs the same problem that I have with Marshall Park, that I need a plan first. I'm willing to do it, but I want to see where it's going to be. And I think to allocate money when it seems to be premature, I don't think in 1 year we'll be able to design it and build it. If we don't even know right now, everybody's kind of guessing where it would be.
Yeah, I agree. And with that money, we can fund a couple more smaller projects and get them out of the way this year.
Well, I think we've already ranked way more than we should expect on getting, that's for sure.
But I think Heather asked us to rank everything.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I agree with the exercise, but I just, that
The
realistically.
conversation is getting more trivial as we go.
Right.
Yeah, but I agree that one should be kind of on the bottom of the list compared to.
Yeah.
So do we don't have a number, we do have a number 15.
That's the police vehicle.
Anyone, number 16? I mean, big dollar item, but the AC for the classrooms, the primary school, is that?
That is
Doesn't
not high, not even, that's near the bottom of my list.
Really? Okay.
Truthfully, and I, here representing the schools, it's on the bottom of mine too. I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those things that would be fantastic to be able to fund, but I mean, in any given year, there's just so many greater priorities.
Okay.
Wendy,
And
the
because of the
engineering is
reason-
already in place for that, right? Or it's being done now?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
yes, no, it's set. There's no, it was, when it was built in 2005,
Yep.
it was all set then, but still, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
again,
I
it's
guess
a
I'm,
necessity. It would be great to have, it truly would, but I mean, when you look at everything else that we're looking at, you just can't even.
yeah, I'm just more hot on it because we spent a bunch of money last year to do the engineering part for it. Forget what the dollar
thought-
value.
I didn't think we had to do engineering. I thought it was all set.
So did
Yeah.
I.
Yeah, because we spent the money last year to do it. It's done now.
No, I thought it was set when they built the building. They
So
designed
did
it
I.
to accommodate the AC. I didn't think there was any engineering that we had to do.
Yeah, we spent, Heather, do you remember how much money we spent on the
Oh
engineering?
my God. I didn't know.
That's why I brought it up.
Well, then
I had in my memory that we did do a
The
design.
admin, the Turkey Hill admin area. Is that what you're referring to?
No, this is the design for the AC for the classrooms in primary school.
I thought even during the presentation, they said it was set for that.
Yeah, that's what I remember
It
too.
was designed for that, but you still had to do the engineering to,
The duct work was there and everything, but it's not,
It's 10,000 for the design for the AC, the primary classrooms.
isn't DeGiorgio doing that presently?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's where it comes from in my mind.
Well, then we do. I mean, if we paid for the engineering, we've got to move forward with the project.
The $300,000 project though.
We don't, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
well-
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
within a
sure.
couple of years, engineering doesn't go sour in a couple of years. I mean, engineering is engineering. That's the cost that'll change.
yeah, I mean, if they like change the building, the energy codes or something like that, we'd get worked over for that, but it should be good for a little while.
So I would put the carpet as a public safety in the senior center before that.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then to me, the utility tractor.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the public, I mean, almost everything we have now, I don't even know that I would have a difficult time ranking these because they're near the bottom of my list.
Mhm.
Public records room, unless I know what the accreditation does, I don't understand that's $175,000 to build a new records room.
Right.
The Brooks
Right.
House, I agree. I would take the Brooks House, both of those items at the bottom of the list. And the vertex framing, we talked of repair to the roof framing of the senior center, we said should be on facility. So yeah, so then we're looking at carpets, and again,
Yeah.
if
I
they're,
mean,
if they're just threadbare and they're just an eyesore but not dangerous, then they can go whenever. There's no urgency in a
yeah,
year
as
that's
soon as all I had left on my list was DPW facilities, I just stuck with the department's rank. And finished out my list that way.
Why don't we find out more about the accreditation and the carpets and finish we're up to 15, right?
Yep.
So why don't we finish the list next time we meet? Once we get that more information.
I did hear back from the chief about what were the positives of in regards to the records room and accreditation. It's more of from a risk management perspective. And as far as reputation, public confidence in their procedures and how they operate. You know, it may help in the form of grants, but it's not 100%.
I guess my only question is there a liability to attach to what we're doing now versus what this would accomplish?
For the records room?
Say again, Heather?
For the records room, are you asking?
Yes.
Yeah, for the accreditation in general, I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying it, you know, I'm assuming that the records are secure enough so that we're not under a gun to build this facility to make them more secure because they're not secure enough for whatever entity would say, you know, force us into this, if that makes any sense.
Right. What is the driving need other than are we out of space for existing records? Is there security issues? I mean, other than accreditation and public confidence, is there really a driving need? Where is it going to go? You know, and what is deficient in our existing records room?
It's in an unfinished space. It is secure, but there could be other measures put in place as far as security. And just that's a component of the accreditation. There's nothing to say that we're not in compliance, but if we apply for accreditation, we may not, you know, that may be a point against the town in receiving accreditation.
The other piece of this is that depending on what happens with Passios, the Lions Club will be moving out of that space, part of that space also, and how I asked that question as to how that would affect the possible uses of that space up there. And I think moving forward with one project that doesn't take into consideration that you're going to have more vacated space up there.
That's on the fire side, though. This is the records room.
Police side, okay, okay.
Well, if we can get a report on the condition of the carpeting and the reason for it, I mean, again, is it threadbare? Is it just dirty, or is it ripping so it becomes a walking hazard? That would make a big difference in ranking, I think.
Yeah, so for me right now, if the carpet is a hazard, those two would be higher on my list. Then it would be the utility tractor, then it would be the records room for me.
Mhm.
But I'd like to have more information about the records room. Are we finishing the unfinished records room? Is that what that budget is? Are we adding something? So
Yeah.
that's to finish the records room?
Space, yeah, it's a completely unfinished space right now.
So to me, to have a couple pictures of that space if possible and understand what improvements are going to be made would help me make a decision.
Got one other question on the senior center. How is interior painting not a
Yeah.
repair and maintenance of a structure or interior? That one caught my eye as a facilities project also.
Yeah, I would think so.
Agreed.
Mm.
So if we want to put some numbers to this stuff tonight, let's put the carpets in next. And we can always move them after we get more information, as you know, I mentioned earlier with a couple of the other items. I think it'd be good to have a complete ranking list to mull over between now and the next meeting. And we can reassign.
So
Some
for
of
me, it
these.
would be senior center before public safety.
Yep.
Senior center carpet,
Yeah, senior center carpet and then public safety carpet.
So that's 15 and 16.
16 and
16
17.
and
16 and 17. Sorry, I keep missing one. 17. Okay.
Okay, and then you mentioned the utility tractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rob made a pretty good case for that vehicle, but where they've got the brand new trackless, you know, that definitely pushes it down the list a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still at school AC before that thing, but maybe it sounds like I'm alone on that one.
On which one?
The school AC, primary school.
I
Aside
think,
from the two at the Brooks house that I would not rank at all, that I would not vote to put on at all. Everything else to me is at the same level that's left.
right, and the AC to me is important, but the price tag on it, you know, with the vehicle versus, I mean, the likelihood of us getting this far on this list, I mean, I suppose that our ranking is only setting us up for next fiscal year to look at when these come back around.
Yep, that's gonna feed into it.
So when I go through, that comes up as item number 20 for me. I would put the utility tractor as 18, the public safety records room is 19, and the AC at 20.
I'd be fine with that.
Me too.
Oh, could you repeat that, please? 18, 19, 20.
18 is the utility tractor, 19 is the public safety records room, and 20 would be the AC for the classrooms.
Okay, thank you. I
And
agree with
everything
that
else
also.
that's not ranked, we're not ranking, is that it?
I mean, next to me would be the parking lot, but I don't really understand where it's gonna go and.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I'd like to see some more study of that before I'd even like.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like not sufficient information to call it a capital project.
right.
Yep.
Right,
I would agree. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I mean, I wouldn't even rank it.
yeah,
The senior center repair framing, I think, is part of maintenance. I think the interior painting should be part of the facilities plan.
yeah, and Brooks House
Facilities
should
budget.
be on there, yeah,
The Brooks house, I won't put on. I won't.
Yeah.
vote to put
yeah,
on.
so that's all of it.
Okay,
Mhm.
see, we did it. Look at that. All right, so
This is when somebody says, make it so, right? That's it. You're done.
we're done. All we need is $2.6 million.
No less. We took on some stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Took off some stuff.
I think we're still at 2 anyway. Okay, so for,
Damon, could you reorder that and send us a document at some point in the near future, maybe? And
I have it. I've been doing it as we're talking. I did it a
okay,
little
great.
bit differently, but I'm happy to send out what I did. Or send it to Damon and he can address it, but
Yeah, if
I'm,
you've already, yeah, sure.
yeah,
I-
I've already
like I said,
done it. I'm doing it as we're talking, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
that-
Just as a point of information, and it's just information. I have no feeling one way or the other about what I'm about to say. But we make this recommendation to the town manager and she has the final say on the prioritization of all of these projects, and she can add and subtract projects. Is that a correct assumption, Heather, or statement?
Yes, per the charter.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, that I just make that comment for information only.
Right. Okay, so the things we were looking for more information on was the two carpets, the records room. Just want to see what we're dealing with now and how insufficient it is.
And if I can add one more criteria to that, when we're talking about the records room, is that the last piece for accreditation? Or if we do that, there's still other things that we need to know along the way?
Yeah.
It's a
So
good
I'd like
point.
to know that too.
I made notes about that stuff, so I can send that out too. It'll be on the same spreadsheet.
Is there anything else we were looking for before we meet again to just finalize this? No? Okay.
Any surprises in this, through you, Mr. Chair, to the town manager? Any surprises in this ranking that you're like not vocalizing here?
I guess just from historically, usually the police vehicles are all grouped in together, but that's the only surprise to me.
Yeah. I think this is the first time we've actually had 3 requested though. Usually it's 1 or 2.
Yep.
But you
And
usually
Damon, that's driven by the increase in patrolmen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's just, it was easier to lump them together when only 2.
Yeah.
Well, that one flat hill, I mean, that's a huge project for,
Yep. That's almost a fire truck.
yep.
Heather, will we be able to take another look at this also once we get the information on these projects we have questions about? But this was a prioritization without knowing what the number is. I'd like to be able to look at this list in the next meeting, which I'm assuming is our final chance to shuffle the cards and have the number so we know roughly where the cutoff point is. Don't need it for tonight. I'd rather not have it for tonight, but if we could have
Yeah,
it
I
for
don't
the,
have a number to provide you, so.
okay.
And why would this be our last opportunity? I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, when it comes to budget season, we'll have further meetings with the town manager to discuss things, especially when we know the number.
Yeah, am I correct? January 12th is our drop dead to turn over the list.
He's eating.
Yes, because I have to present by a certain date.
Yeah, I have a schedule from FinCom and that's on that schedule that the 12th is our drop dead date to submit our finalized list.
Yeah. So we want to get this, you know, as close to final, and we hand it off to the town manager. And usually the capital planning committee doesn't meet too much after that. It's left to the town manager and FinCom and Board of Selectmen to hammer out the final budget before town meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so speaking
These
of
are the
next
questions-
meeting.
These are the questions you ask when you're a newbie.
So are you meeting on next Tuesday? Is that when you're meeting?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Does everyone want to do next Tuesday? Are we available
What is
next?
that, the 5th or something?
5th.
It's the fifth, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm available.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the 12th is the Tuesday after that, so we don't want to cut it that close.
Yeah, definitely no.
And I mean, I don't anticipate our list changing drastically, but there's, you know, we want to look at a couple things again. What was the other one we wanted? We wanted more information on the actual, the roof repair costs for the town hall. That was the other item that we have.
Right.
And the Ritter numbers.
Yeah, and the Ritter projects. So if we can talk about the carpets, the record room, the town hall roof, and the Ritter costs at the next meeting on the 5th, I think we'll be able to finalize and make our recommendation then.
Yep,
5:15 again for the meeting.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Works good.
Okay. There any, not sure we have much public with us tonight, but any comments from the public? Any final comments from the committee?
Wish you all a very happy new year, a safe new year.
Yes.
You too.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Same to everybody.
Year,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
So if I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I move
I'll
we
make a-
adjourn at 6:27 PM.
There a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor in the order that I see you, Tom
Aye.
and Wendy,
Aye.
and Dave
Aye.
and Paula,
Aye.
and I for myself. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Good
good
night.
night.
Night,
everybody.
everybody.
Night.